Schools of Choice is a program where you can send your child to a district outside of the one in which you live. And school districts have to choose to opt in. So initially, very few districts were opting in because they were concerned about students from other districts. This was something new. Were not supportive of choice. But now, more than 80% of Michigan districts are accepting students into their boundaries, which is huge. More than 100,000 students use schools of choice, which is comparable to the number of students who use charter schools. But matter of the fact is, for whatever reason, we hear mostly about charter school choice when it comes to news about the choices that students are making. It can be as simple as the school is closer to the parent's place of work, closer to home, an easier commute. It could also have something to do with perhaps sports or academic considerations. What we did is we looked at, okay, where do students live, and where are they going to school? And we looked at average test scores, average graduation rates, average dropout rates, and incredibly, on average, these 100,000 students that are using schools of choice are choosing districts with higher test scores, higher graduation rates, and lower dropout rates. So on average, Michigan parents are making academically better choices. State dollars follow students when they go to another district using schools of choice. So what this really does is it holds districts accountable. If students aren't getting their educational needs met at their resident district, they have another choice. And what's especially critical is that schools of choice is used a lot in more rural parts of the state. In our more urban areas, there are many charter schools for students to choose from, but this provides an option for students in more rural areas. Some school districts have really embraced this in an innovative way. Berrien Springs, which we featured earlier this year with a policy brief, has actually used schools of choice to increase its emphasis on alternative education. So it started programs knowing that other districts nearby were cutting their alternative education programs and that they could serve students who had this educational need that wasn't being met by other districts. So this policy has not only provided that stick of holding districts accountable, but also has provided a carrot to superintendents who really want to be innovative. It's just not the case that we don't live in a system of school choice, even when you don't have schools of choice and charter schools. Instead, that conventional system is school choice by mortgage, right? You are picking your school district when you buy a home. What policies like this do is they enable students to attend districts that they might not, say, be able to afford a home in that area. If we're really interested in the public education system providing opportunity for all students, not just those who might be able to afford a home in Troy or Birmingham or Grosse Pointe, then this is a great system because it allows students to attend school districts that they otherwise could not attend. And they get to bring their state dollars with them. So it's not charity, it's just a choice. Well, there are some ways to improve the system. Even though there's been a lot of talk about fixing the way the state funds students so that even if a student shows up, say, after fall count day, that you still, as a district, get money for educating that student, that hasn't been addressed yet. So it's critical that the state start thinking about, proportional funding. If a student is at the school district for 2/3 of the school year, that school district should get 2/3 of the funding, and that's something we need to figure out immediately. The other way to improve schools of choice is, quite frankly, there are some districts that still choose not to participate. There are some that even choose not to participate but will charge tuition to students who come to their district. So they are effectively discriminating using the price, right? If you can afford the $13,000 tuition, you can come in, but if you want to bring your state aid in through this other program, you can't. And at some point, we need to just step back and say, you know what? This is a public education system. The whole idea is that it's available to Michigan school students. The purpose of district boundaries are not to keep people out. Let's require districts to participate.